Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to some EVE Online, and in today's video I want to show you guys my second Abyss ship. It's going to be the Abyss Gila 1. The reason it's a second ship is you can probably tell here the Sacrilege is missing. That one has been destroyed in a tier 2 filament when I came up against two Vetmax. The two mistakes. The first one is that I went a little bit greedy on the DPS and I didn't put in the reactive armor plate. Which I used on CC, which made everything very stable and was basically your auto counter against the resistance gap that you get in every different filament. And the second was that I thought I would be able to handle those two Triglavian cruisers without any problem, so I ran right at them. And basically the second one was in structure, but because of the ramp up in the damage, I couldn't tank it even when I overheated the rep. So that happened. You know, lesson learned. If you're coming across the Triglavians, try to guide away from them. Try to avoid them doing damage as long as possible. Even in a tier 2, it can be quite deadly. So we're moving on to the Gila, mostly because the Sacrilege is so bloody expensive in price right now, and I actually bought a couple of Gilas right before the expansion. So we're going to run this one in like a tier 1. We're just going to start very slowly, and it's going to be a calm gamma filament. Let's see what that means. In my bio I do put up that gamma is for explosive damage, so I have to use explosive drones. Can't really focus on that for the missiles, but something that I do have to do would then be to switch to explosive resistance, because here I have thermal for the previous site that I ran. So let's see if I can find my explosive plate or explosive shield resistance. Type B explosive deflection amplifier, putting my explosive up to 83%, which is then going to get gut down again, of course. So there we go, that's the fit. You can find it in the bio of my character. Very strong HP per second for a passive Gila with lots of tank capability. I think tier 1, yeah, of course, no problem. Tier 1 is very easy. Tier 2 could always be interesting when we get there. So I tend to just grab a nearby planet, grab a moon, warp, let's say to 100 of that, and let's get ready. So explosive. So that's going to be the Republic Fleet Valkyries. Also something that I put in here. It was basically a fit from a post on Reddit with maybe one minor change. I think my Afterburner is Tech 2 and his was quite a bit more expensive. But I'm trying with these faction drones because they have better tracking and better HP apparently, which was also a problem that I was encountering in the Sacrilege, having to constantly switch my drones because they really didn't like them. But let's go, let's see how my Gila performs in this calm gamma. I can already tell you that we have a lot more DPS, so that does feel a lot better. And better application as well with the rapid light missile launchers. Range though, 30 kilometers. I could shoot up to like 60 kilometers with the Sacrilege, which was quite nice. So let's get started here. First room. Okay, battleship. So we need to get closer, we need to up our resistance. Talking about these guys. And try to target him as soon as we can. They're not even attacking yet, despite the fact that I am taking damage. You bastards, there we go, finally in targeting range. So let's send my Republic Fleet Valkyries out towards the Tyrannos. And that was a range of 30 kilometers, so we'll quickly try to snag the cage first, I think. Oh, they don't have the range just yet. Finally, drones engaging drifter battleships. Which is heavily damaged. This is of course tier 1, so it should be quite doable. What is that? Tracking pylon suppressor. 45 kilometers up there, so I'm not too worried. Let's fire some missiles. See if we grab any loot. There we go. There is some loot. And then now finally my drones are on the target. Hits 600, 500. Not bad. 272, that's a bit less. But I think that they can very easily break that tank. And now of course the shield tank here with the incredible passive rep is gonna be quite nice. So we are down to 94% shields. Grab it. Thank you. I'm actually quite okay with some of these tier 1s dropping here, just so I can keep going. Keep getting used to the abyss. I mean, now that it's on TQ, this is a little bit more stressful. You have to be a little bit more careful, because of course there's some actual costs to losing stuff here. So that's the first room. Have my drones come back, and a big advantage of the Gila, of course, more HP on your drones. You can take all damage types with you, so that is very nice as well. No need to refit as much as what I had to do with the Sacrilege, and it's got more DPS. So here we go, we actually have a Vidmax. So for this one I'm actually going to try to pull away from him a little bit as I send my drones on him. He is in range. So I want to try to avoid him doing his optimal, but just look at him racing towards me like hell. And it's basically a double spawn of these that got my my Sacrilege destroyed. So now we're actually going to switch over here. Hope that he like overshoots me a little bit. And I really should, I think I'm going to have to add velocity rather than alliance on this one. So there goes the beam, and of course the DPS will just keep ramping up and up as the beam stays on me longer. And yeah, they've got too much speed. You can't really escape them all that effectively, unless maybe you have a micro updrive. But the fit that I saw posted was for an afterburner fit. So there we go. That puppy is down though. In a tier 1, you only have to deal with one of them. So let's blow this baby up. And I think you can already tell the major difference here with the Gila. Although I'm not exactly sure about the passive shield tank, never gonna be as strong, potentially I think, as an active one. The big difference is, of course, I've got a lot more DPS and great application. Just a bit less range. But let's see what's in here. Could use some skill books. That's not a skill book, but I keep building on my tier 1 filament library, so I'll take it. All drones are in. Reload is almost done. Let's move to the final room. And then we'll take another look at the Gila, just in case you guys are curious about the fit. Yeah, all about the regen. You can see that even at 98%, my HP is actually still coming back at a decent clip. Ooh, and now we actually have a Leshak. So here, I think I'm going to try the same thing. Spotlighter, okay. And then let's see if we can send my drones on the Leshak. We'll use missiles on him. But no, that beam's already going. So firing these off. Spotlighter have shields. And I wonder, can I pull away from him enough? Now you do see I can make the beam miss when I'm not on his optimal. And I think that ought to reset the incoming DPS. Both of them die quite quickly. So let's approach this. I think those guys can switch back here. But yeah, awesome DPS. Definitely pretty good. And we get some more loot. So we're going to return to the drone bay. Do a quick reload. And that is working quite nicely. So there you go. We have a little bit of time, I think, to go over the fits. So it's rapid light missile launchers. I have both kinetic and thermal, depending on the site, of course. Then we've got one Nosferatu, not really that I use it that much. 3 large shield extender, Dynamite afterburner, 1 adaptive invulnerability field, 1 resistance amplifier, which you switch depending on the site. Then we've got drone damage amplifier, 2 shield power relays, and 3 Tech 2 medium core defense field purgers for the HP a second, which is 246 now because I get double shields. It's less in the other sides, of course. And we get 2 more tier 1 filaments. That does mean that I've got lots of tier 1s to run at this point. Very good. These, as you can tell here, are easily farmed by this Gila. So if you want some of that consistency, if you want to run these sites consistently, something like this Gila is going to work very well, because not only does it have enough tank, it especially has more DPS than the Sacrilege that I was using. That's it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.
Warp drive active.